So thanks for tuning in. Today I'm reviewing Restasis versus Xiidra. If you want to know the side effects and how I felt after taking each one of these medications, make sure you keep watching. Let's go. Okay, so I'm a firm believer that we all are struggling with hidden issues and conditions that no one knows nothing of. So I probably have some autoimmune condition going on. I believe it's Sjogren's. If you want to look it up, it's Sjogren's, Sjogren's syndrome. Just because about, I don't know, like a year ago, I started getting severe dry eyes severe. If I wasn't putting eye drops in my eyes every 2 minutes, it felt like my eyes were just gritty and sandpaper, and it was awful. So, I went to the optometrist first, and he thought that it was my meibomian glands. You can have dry eyes for different reasons. It can be the meibomian gland, or it can be because your eyes are just not producing enough tears. Then I went to an ophthalmologist. So the optometrist thought it was the meibomian gland. The ophthalmologist says that I'm just not producing enough tears. He did a little test where he puts these strips into my eyes and test to see my lacrimal production, and I was not producing any tears. So I was having severe dry eyes. So I had looked up medications for dry eye, and I had read up on Restasis. When I went to the ophthalmologist, he gave me a sample of Xiidra. Now, these medications are around $500 for a month's supply, very expensive here in the United States, which it's absolutely appalling that drops are that expensive. It's sad how broken our healthcare system is, but that's a whole other topic. So, there's people that don't fall into a certain category and they don't fit into a nice little niche, and it's not fair. But I will keep this video about dry eyes. So this is what Xiidra looks like. It's a clear liquid, and it brings a teensy-weensy bit of the drop. It's only filled up to here. You're only supposed to use it one time and discard it. If you compare how much comes in Xiidra and you compare how much comes in Restasis, and I put them side by side, you see how much more filled Restasis is. Restasis is a milky colored, and Xiidra is clear. The doctor gave me Xiidra, and my insurance, of course, wouldn't pay for it. And I was very dissatisfied with the office because I kept calling to get it's so frustrating because the office, when you're battling insurance companies, and I was paying a decent amount of money to have a decent insurance, but when you are battling with the insurance company, and then the insurance company is telling you that they haven't received a certain thing, and then the doctor's office is telling you that they sent it, you don't know who to believe. So it's frustrating. I couldn't even get Xiidra. So I basically had to beg for them to give me more samples. How did I feel taking Xiidra? Awful. I didn't like it. It did not work well for me. The first time I took Xiidra, it gave me hiccups the entire day, and that's not a side effect that's listed, but I never get side effects. I never get hiccups, and I took Xiidra the first day, and I had hiccups the entire time. I think because it gave me a little bit of heartburn. But anyways, it was awful, the entire day. So I was scared to take it again, but my eyes were so dry that I kind of sucked it up and I took it again. The other side effect that I got from Xiidra was a lot of nasal congestion, so nasal stuffiness, and a headache. I don't usually get headaches, and it gave me bad headaches. So it's like, do you want your eyes to be moisturized, or do you want to be experiencing headaches every day? And, honestly, I didn't know what was worse. Thank God, and this is why I'm a nurse practitioner, but I really encourage you, it doesn't matter who, it's your body, and it doesn't matter what specialist or what you're seeing. Do your own research. Be your own advocate. Don't just go by what doctors tell you. Be an active participant, because even as a nurse practitioner, doctors get it wrong with me all the time, and they don't recommend the right things. I'm the one that's always advocating for myself, Look, I asked for Restasis to begin with, and they didn't want to give it. So I was in school at the time, and I don't have time to be going to doctor appointments. I'm very busy. So my dad happened to be in Colombia at the time, and in a lot of South American countries, you don't need an actual script from a doctor to fill medication. You can just go and buy the medication. So I was having such a hard time getting the medication, and I really wanted to try Restasis because Xiidra wasn't working well for me, but I didn't want to have to, go back to the ophthalmologist's office and just start the whole process. I was fed up with them. Every time you go, you have to sit there, you have to wait, you have to pay money, and I could have changed providers, but imagine they're gonna have to dilate my eyes every time I go to a new provider. It's a whole new exam, it's a whole new hoopla. So this medication, both of them pretty much cost around $500 for the month. And you can check that out on goodrx.com or on your app, which is ridiculous, $500. Who can afford that? Unfortunately, for a lot of the autoimmune conditions, I also have interstitial cystitis, and the one pill that could help for it is Almiron, and that's also around $500 a month. So imagine if I were to take all the medications that I need to be taking for all my medical conditions, that would be around just $1,000 on top of everything else, but whatever. So my dad was in Colombia, and I asked him to get Restasis for me. Because of the dollars valued higher, it costs around $50 in Colombia to get a whole box. This brought 30 vials, and because I don't know if the one in the United States comes this full, but the one in Colombia comes this full. So what I do, even though it's technically one time, is I take this off and then I put this up in a shot glass, and I will use this same vial, and it lasts me for like a week. So I'm using the same vial for at least 5-7 days. So I'm only using 4 vials in 4 weeks, which is amazing because I get 30 of these in a box. So I'm really spacing them out because my insurance doesn't want to pay me for medication that I need, which is not fair. But life's not fair, so what can you do, right? Suck it up, buttercup. But anyway, so I tried Restasis, and I had a much better experience. So remember that this is just me giving my opinion. I am not giving medical advice whatsoever. I am reviewing these medications. So everybody's different. I'm not giving you medical advice. But in my experience, when I took Xiidra, very bad. And I think Xiidra is like the new kid on the block. So I don't know, doctors are pushing it more. Maybe he just had Xiidra samples in that day. It comes like in this packet. But between Xiidra and Restasis, I had a much better experience with Restasis. I got absolutely no side effects from Restasis. I was so happy that I advocated for myself, that my dad was able to get it and bring it to me. No headache, no nasal congestion. Oh, the other side effect of Xiidra, which is awful, is that the medication kind of lingers in the back of your throat, and you have an awful aftertaste the entire day. Like, it's this nasty acidic sensation taste in the back of your throat, and it's like, it just made me not want to eat anything the rest of the day because it's so gross, and no matter how much water you drink, it's always there. So out of the two, I 1,000,000 times recommend Restasis. I do not recommend Xiidra. Xiidra sucks. Blech. I hated it. Restasis, so much better. I'm so happy with Restasis. Like, some days I will use it twice. I'm supposed to use it twice a day. But again, it's freaking $500. So some days I try to space it out, and I will only use it in the morning. And I swear by this, guys. I know it's gonna sound crazy, but I was icing because I had TMJ. I have so many issues. I was icing my jaw one day. My eyes were like really dry, so I put the ice over my eyes and it felt better. So I was like, I wonder if I just dip my face in ice. Like, if I just fill a bowl with ice and fill it with water and I just dip my face in there, I wonder if that will help my eyes. I am not kidding you. So the combination of the Restasis plus in the morning, I will fill a bowl with ice and put water in it, and then I dip my face in it for 20 seconds. I have a timer. I put my face in, I hold my breath for 20 seconds, come up, dip my head in again for another 20 seconds, that combination, this and the ice thing on my face, it does wonders for my eyes. Like after I put this and do the ice, I feel normal again. I feel like I don't have an abnormality going on in my eyes, which has been wonderful, because there's nothing worse than, I got really sad one time when I went to like this improv show, and like I just didn't even want to keep my eyes open because it hurt. Like they were just so dry and it just hurt so bad, and I was just like, ugh, I just want to be normal. Like, so if you're watching this and you have dry eyes, try Restasis. I really keep fighting. If your insurance isn't covering it, keep fighting it. If you have relatives that live outside of the country, then you may have to go that route, that avenue. You're on vacation, Mexico, Colombia, wherever, you buy it, you bring it back, because at this point in time, unfortunately, what can we do? There's no generic to this, and there's not a cheaper alternative. But I don't want you to waste your money on Xiidra. I got so many side effects. So side effects from Xiidra, I got weird aftertaste, I got the hiccups, I got nasal congestion, and I got headaches. And every medication has side effects, but really from Restasis, I did not get one. The only thing that my ophthalmologist has said, that sometimes people with Restasis are at an increased risk for getting pink eye. I have yet to get pink eye. Just make sure that you wash your hand good, you wash your hands well, and you follow good hand hygiene. But anyways, thank you for watching, and I hope this helps if you're thinking about which medication should I use. Should I use Restasis or Xiidra? Restasis just wins by every measure. The vial brings less side effects. I'm just very, very happy with it. And Restasis was a blessing, because when my parents went to Colombia, because the doctor had recommended Xiidra, I was kind of, trusting him. But when my parents went to Colombia, Xiidra wasn't available there. So I wrote them both. I was like, see if either one of these is available, Restasis or Xiidra. So they're like, Xiidra, they said Xiidra's not available, but Restasis is. So I was like, okay, so bring Restasis. So I've just been so blessed that this one was available in Colombia and not this one, because I'm so happy with this one, that it just makes me feel, at least it makes my eyes feel normal again, and I can function in my day-to-day life. But thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have dry eyes and if you have anything that's worked for you. I also put eye ointment in my eye at night before I go to bed, because when I was waking up, my eyes were just like so dry and sticking together. So I'll use eye ointment at night. I use the Restasis in the morning, the ice thing in the face, and then I go to work. So lots of things just to keep my eyes functioning normal. But bye.